Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Here's all my index cards with the airport codes of the city. I've been working on them. And anyway, let's cut to the chase. Today's video is specifically about the training packet, and I finally got mine. Yay! I was especially glad to get mine because I got bumped up, guys. I got bumped up. So let's first talk about what that means. So I had a tentative training date scheduled for March, and a couple months ago they sent me an email and they said, okay, if you had the opportunity to move up to an earlier class, if a position became available, would you be interested? And I said yes, because seniority is everything, guys. Seniority is everything in this industry, and so I knew that if I was in an earlier class I would have more seniority, and because they go by your graduation date as well as your birthday. So yeah, so I got bumped up. So I literally have less than 2 weeks before I am training to be a flight attendant, and that is just so exciting. But I got bumped up and I still didn't have my training packet, and everyone else in the February class has already got their training packet. So I was like, what am I going to do? They're like studying stuff that's in the training packet, and I only have 2 weeks or 2.5 weeks to really buy the things that I need to buy. And so I finally got it, and I have just so much relief, and I am so confident now that I have what I need to go to training and have a successful experience and graduate and become a flight attendant. The first thing I'm going to say about the training packet is there are a lot of very specific, I'm petting my dog right now, guidelines about almost everything: your hair, your makeup, your jewelry, your shoes, and stop licking me. Anyway, so yeah, they're very particular and have every right to be about different things. And so I'm really glad that I didn't go out and buy a whole lot before I got my training packet, because you don't want to go and buy $100 pair of shoes only to find out that they're not compliant, and then you lost your receipt and you don't get that money back and you have to go buy other shoes. So yeah, that'd be my first piece of advice, is to wait to do purchases until after you get your training packet. To give a couple examples real fast, these earrings are compliant. My makeup is compliant. This ring is compliant. This ring is not compliant. My necklace is compliant. So I was glad to get that and be able to know how to pack and what to buy and how to prepare. Now, it's not just things that you need to buy that's in that training packet. They also have advice for you about financial things. For example, you need to have several $1,000s saved for relocating. You need it. So stop buying whatever you're excessively buying right now. Don't buy those leopard print shoes, because that's not going to be compliant and you're going to need that money to move to New York or do whatever, or to buy food in a different city, So I'm so glad that I had already been saving money. And I think that my friends are probably a little frustrated because they're like, where have you been? Like, you're about to leave and we're hardly seeing you. And I'm like, yeah, it's because I can only go out like once a week because I got to save my money. Things to think about when it comes to that is, you might say, but there's crash pads. Those are pretty inexpensive, from like $250 to $600. But what if you were to graduate and then where you're based at, there's no crash pads that fit your needs available? Then what would you do? Well, you'd still have to find a place to live. You might be able to go in with some other people from your company that also are, at that base, for example, New York. But if you had to do that, there's going to be a whole lot of unexpected financial things that you're going to have to to do. For example, most crash pads, there's no lease, there's no deposit. Well, if you have to create your own crash pad, you're gonna have to come up with a deposit. You're gonna have to go buy beds, you know, bunk beds. You're gonna have to go buy furniture. You're gonna have to go do all these things. And so not only that, but while you are looking for your place to live, me personally, I want to physically go check out the crash pad before I put money down on something. So I'm gonna have to be in a hotel during that time. So you gotta keep in mind, you know, you're gonna have those expenses. I don't know if the hotel room I'm gonna have is gonna have a kitchenette, so I'll be spending money until I have a place to live that I can make my food. So there's those things to think about. Then of course, our company they very generously provide housing, and then they provide food for us at their cafeteria during training, but they are not paying us. So those 5 to 6 weeks that you are in training, if you have bills, if you have a car payment, if you have insurance, if you have this, if you have that, you have to pay it. So you have to have that money set aside. So you need a whole 6 weeks worth of bill money set aside, on top of the couple $1,000s that you need in relocating set aside. You are going to need money to live off of set aside. I mean, guys, this is a big investment of everything, time, money, and it's we need to start taking it really serious. So, and I'm glad that I started saving money a while back. So something else that I would say to y'all is, if you are in some of the upcoming classes like in March or April, go get your taxes done. Don't put it off to the last second and forget about it, and then you're in training and then you're freaking out and you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't do my taxes. Like, go get it done. Because if you're like me and you have a job that you most likely are going to have to pay too, like, so that's part of the money that I've been setting aside too, is I don't typically get money back. I usually have to pay money during tax season. So you need to just know everything that you have to deal with. Go get your taxes done. If you're the kind that gets money back most of the time, go get it done so you know exactly how much money you have, or you know, that's coming back to you, so that you can also calculate that into your savings. So yeah. Also in the training packet, they do an amazing job of giving you information about things that you need to study. They give you suggestions on how to study. They are very thorough. I'm very impressed with this company. You know, I did note cards just because writing it down for me and saying it out loud as I'm writing it down really helps me, more so than entering something into the computer, but I'm going to do that as well. And then of course you are going to have to learn, you know, the jargon of your new industry and all these other things. Don't worry, you're going to do fine. I am just really relieved. Now, I did want to show you guys one thing. I wanted to show you my shoes. First of all, because I've been wearing them around the house today, trying to break them in. These are my official flight attendant shoes, and I'm very happy with them. They're soft, S-O-F-F-T. All of that is padding in it. They're very comfortable, very sturdy. They have a black sole. That was one of the requirements for my company for graduation, is I had to have a shoe that had a black sole as well as just black everywhere else. They're very particular, like I mentioned. So I'm glad that I waited till I knew exactly what was expected of me before I went and made a purchase like that. Anyway, so yeah, guys, I'm just super stoked about going to training, finally feeling prepared about training, and I wish y'all the best. And if you have any questions, let me know. Thanks, guys.